Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 281, Born This Way. That refers to a Lady Gaga song about essentially her same sex attraction, I believe. Actually, I'm not really a master of what that means, but I was listening to a podcast the other day with Matt Fradd and Father Mike Schmitz about the excuse that people use that, I have same sex, not me, but that people would say, I have same sex attraction, I'm born this way, therefore God made me this way. Why would God make me bad? And they were saying, well, that's really not a good idea to use that excuse because we're all dealing with crap in our lives and we all have all sorts of inclinations that are not directed towards God and toward the good. Every single one of us deals with certain crap in our lives. Some people deal with addiction, drug, alcohol. Some people deal with sexual addiction. Some people deal with fornication and infidelity and so on and so forth. And so if you say something like, I was made this way and therefore it must be good. What about the people that have anger issues? They were made that way. Should they celebrate their anger and like lash out at people? Some people were made to be like over sexualized. So like they have a hard time staying faithful in their marriage. Should they fornicate with people outside of their marriage because that's what their inclination tells them to do? Not every itch needs scratching. And same thing with same-sex sexual attraction is just because you have an inclination towards it doesn't mean that you should celebrate it or say that it's normalized behavior. Because I think a lot of people would say, like if you say, well, I like to drink, say 2/5 of whiskey a day. Well, that's the way you were made. You were obviously made that way, so that's good, and so therefore you should drink 2/5 of whiskey a day. I don't think anybody would agree with that. What about smoking? What about So therefore, that argument, born this way, essentially, if you allow that to be a normalized argument, opens up the doors and the gates to every single sin in the history of mankind to be normalized. That just because you have an inclination towards something means that you should normalize it and not fight it. No, that's not true. We have a true nature, a divine nature from God, but we also have a fallen nature where there's the seven deadly sins: greed, lust, pride, wrath, you name them, that we have these inclinations that we need to fight. And that's the whole point of Christianity, by the way, that, Christ went in the desert and he tore himself apart, essentially, mentally, and we need to do that as well. That's what our fasting life, our prayer life's about. That's what Lent is for, that we need to actually go deep into our own hearts, our own souls, and see what the heck's wrong with us and what inclinations we have that don't direct ourselves toward God or the good or, for the common good of mankind. And then when we identify those things within ourselves, which I think a lot of people already know what they are, but if we identify them, that we should actually work to overcome them and habituate behavior that is directed toward the good and not toward the bad. And therefore, if you happen to have a same-sex attraction, that you should say, it's probably not directed toward the good, and that like whoever you are, you should actually do your best to overcome it and live a holy, chaste life. And direct all your efforts, even your sexual energies, toward the good and toward God, which would essentially mean toward chastity, or in marriage, right? And so, anyway, by the way, I'm not insulting people with same-sex attraction. I don't even think like a lot of people in the religious world are overly hard on you. Like they're mean to you, they are judgmental on you. I'm not judging you at all. I think that you suffer with something, and I'll pray for you. Like a lot of people have attractions to separate sex attractions or different sex attraction, heterosexuality, but that's over the top, and they need to fight that as well. And that's the point of being a holy, chaste spouse, holy, chaste single person, holy, chaste, that you have to direct your sexuality towards the good. And so this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, and pray the Daily Rosary. God bless you all.